I will be holding my breath, but I believe that the common sense of the people of the UK will be to stay in the EU. The uncertainty created by leaving would be so great we'd probably never recover from it.
Let's talk about what you are so fearful of. We've heard about the forecast for the British economy. How do you see life if Britain does vote to leave the EU?
Well, let me not repeat data that everybody else has been talking about and pick two things. One is, I think, in spite of the fact we have NATO as a police force, as it were, binding people together by getting them to talk to one another stops unnecessary nationalism, dangerous nationalism, which has marked the history of Europe. And I think that's very important indeed. Secondly, nobody knows what will happen if we were to withdraw from Europe. The legal structures are so complicated that the person in charge of all that said it's going to be years of unmitigated uncertainty.
But you know what the Leave camp says in response to both of those arguments, and that is it's a patriotic response. The EU needs the UK just as much. They need our trade, they need our cars and our alcohol and everything else that is exported from here. And it's not going to really be a security concern when it comes to the US and the UK ties, when it comes to the UK's place within NATO. Why should any of that change?
Because it's all about being better than the other case. I think being part of Europe allows us to continue a path of prosperity, a path of peace, whereas to leave will open up many uncertainties which arguably we'll never recover from. I put it like, in business terms, it's this. If you had a CEO who said, well, I'm going to now change my strategy and figure out what to do, and I'll let you know in 2 years' time how I'm going to do it, how do you think the stock would perform? Not that well.
Uncertainty.
And I think the cost of uncertainty is high, and you very rarely recover that cost. You very rarely do. We will be prosperous as part of Europe. We have our own determination. We have our own parliament. It's not true to say parliament is neutered. It absolutely makes the laws.
But do you sympathize at all with those that are in favor of exit, have been hurt by globalization, say they've been hurt by regulations coming from Brussels, say they've been hurt by immigrants, by migrants coming from within the EU, from Eastern Europe, that has been a drain on the social safety net and has been competition for jobs?
I have a great amount of sympathy with some of the impacts of globalization around the world, not least the speed at which reskilling and education is done to keep up with rapid change, not least technological change, which is producing a faster impact of globalization. And that I really do, but it's up to us to make that work for people and to stop the middle of all economies being hollowed out.